Welcome to Oriental AM, your source for the latest happenings in Gensokyo and beyond. Broadcasting to you pre-recorded from somewhere on Yokai Mountain, and now, your host, MC.
Welcome to episode 9 of Oriental AM. So, of course, I'm going to start out by saying if you want to download the episode, there will be a link in the description to download in audio format. I'm joined by Charles, also known as Rumia126, here again. Say hi. And we've got news. We've got big news. Oh yeah, it's a mainline Touhou game. Touhou 18 has been announced.
Yes, boys, we got the 18, we're... 18.
18.
There aren't even 18 Mega Man games. You're just going by Mega Man alone.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's a ton of Mega Man games, but this isn't even a valid argument. Touhou's old.
Yep, Touhou's old. Touhou's been around for more than 20 years now, which is nuts.
Yeah, I can crack one open on that.
Hell yeah.
So, Happy 18th anniversary. No, not the anniversary. 18th installment.
18th installment. Okay, alright, so here's the thing. I have this article. This is coming from the official Touhou news website, which is the source of this information now, right? It's not being... I don't know if it's still being posted to Zune's blog. I haven't checked, but
Touhou
he posted...
news website?
Yeah, there's a Touhou news website now. Zune posted a announcement to his blog. He posted a blog post talking about this news website and said that the future information would be posted here, and he might still use his blog. But, anyway, since then I've been checking this, and what do you know? Here we go. So, I have translated the article myself rather than using Google Translate, so hopefully this is at least somewhat better than a Google translation, but let me read it, okay? It says, "Hey, it's Zune. The cold is starting to subside. Even still, it's the best time to be a shut-in at home. For this article, it's a new Touhou release. Touhou Koryudo." That is, assuming that it's using the own reading. That's what it should be, Koryudo. Unconnected Marketeers, which, like, what the fuck? What's with these weird names? I thought Wily Beast and Weakest Creature was a weird name, but this is really weird.
I think we're gonna get involved with the stock market with this
right?
Like, Gensokyo's gonna go full-on GME. To the moon, baby! To the moon!
GME. Alright, well, yeah. So... Here's something I found interesting, though, while looking into this, is that the kanji for that Koryudo, the Japanese title, means Rainbow Dragon Den, or something along those lines. It could also be Rainbow Imperial Cave, something like that. So that's interesting. They're gonna be dragons? Who knows?
Sorry, did someone say dragons?
I said dragons.
Dragons?
Rainbow dragons.
I'm gonna get my dragon monster, and it's gonna defeat your whole team, and then it gets destroyed by, like, the most meta technique ever.
Blue eyes, white dragon. Anyway. So the next part says, story. There is public circulation of a marvelous card. That card seems to contain the secrets of many humans and yokai. Why? Who?
That
how?
card seems to be a card of Chirno based on Reimu's artwork.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that, okay. Anyway, it says, towards the unknown, the Shrine Maiden goes to investigate. This time, with the rainbow-colored theme, I was shooting for a feel of a refreshing atmosphere. The playable characters are Reimu, Marisa, Sakuya, and Sanae. And I struggled to translate this next part. I honestly don't know what it says, but this was like the closest I could come to. Something along the lines of, a large number of human characters, little by little their abilities are unusual or become unusual or something like that. It's really weird. A lot of it was hard to translate. Anyway, the next part says, enjoy the unique atmosphere, which connects system, story, and Danmaku. Below are screenshots. And then we get all the screenshots. So let's look at those real quick. Yeah, I think Reimu looks particularly good in this game for some reason. I like the way her hair looks.
Because Zun stopped putting the paintbrush in his butt cheek. Actually, you gotta remember, he's had 2 years to work on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm hoping that this is going to be
It's
particularly
looking
good.
really impressive just based on this basic info alone.
It looks interesting, and yeah,
It's
the
got
cards.
the classic Touhou romp, and for the first time, we have Sakuya and Sane in the same game.
Is that the
In the
first time?
same game,
I
like
guess it is. Yeah.
not for the fighters, but like in the shooters. Now you can play as either the newbie or you can play as old school MLG tryhard.
Yeah.
For all those people who were like mad that Sane was like straight up replacing Sakuya.
Yeah, they're both here this time.
Like, this looks like it's gonna be fun, but at the same time, the premise alone sounds like it's going to some very strange, uncharted territory that
It does.
just really screams, let's go full GME, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The screenshots, like the backgrounds in the screenshots look really interesting. Particularly that first screenshot has like rain falling, and that looks pretty interesting. I like the look of that. I like the look of that. That looks very atmospheric. And the last one as well. Like, what's going on in that last one? Like some cliffs or something?
That looks like a burnt up forest.
That's what you see.
And
yeah.
Is that darkness I see?
Darkness, maybe.
No, that's just tree shrubbery. Okay.
There's a rainbow above a canopy. A lot of this just like looks very pleasant, and I really like the bright colors and the theming and stuff. You know, it looks nice. And yeah, those cards. I wonder what that's about.
Those are definitely the in-game mechanic, because I'm seeing that
Yeah, it is.
most of them get the mallet, like the lucky mallet.
But they have
and,
something else as a second.
Reimu seems to have the Chirno one, but you'll see here, there's a screenshot of Sakuya, where she also has Chirno and this, like, potion bottle.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you customize your shot type based on the card.
Well, I actually translated something along those lines for the next part, so we're going to get to that. But let's just talk more about the screenshot. Yeah, let me also point out that it seems like Sakuya is using her shot type from Perfect Cherry Blossom, the one that, like, homes in. You see that?
Oh my god, that's gonna be freaking sick.
yeah.
Also, is it just me, or is, like, the frills on her skirt rainbow colored?
Yeah, they are, actually.
What is
Zunt
up
kind of
with
does that, like with the paw prints on Reimu's outfit in Wily Beast and Weakest Creature.
He's just shoehorning stuff in just for the sake of it now. It's not even, like, consistent.
Is Sanae's skirt semi-transparent or something? Look at, like, you can kind of see her leg through, like,
no,
the
that's
part.
just your mind. It's how she's moving her leg.
It's like, colored there.
That's what happens with wind. Only I would know this, because I have experience in this field.
Oh man. Okay. Well, anyway, let's continue on with the translation. It says images are development build and subject to change. It's a relatively challenging shooting game, but you can buy upgrades for your favorite equipped ability so you can play it without it being uncomfortable. So what this sounds like to me is this is like an impossible spell card type of deal, where it might be like a little bit bullshit and you use the cards to like cheap assets to some extent, which might be really fun. It depends on how it's integrated. It might really suck. Who knows?
I'm thinking it's just how you pick your shot type.
Yeah.
Because based on all the other stuff he's hyped up, it wound up just being shot type the whole time.
Maybe, but like it says buy upgrades for equipped ability, so it sounds like something that's like maybe in between stages or something like that. I don't know, but it's definitely something weird. That would be
so weird, because then your high score would actually matter.
Yeah, I always want that, you know, like in some Touhou games, your points contribute to extra lives, and I wish that was just the standard. But
oh Jesus.
Anyway, so he says, it is currently under admirable development. I assume that's just an expression or something, but basically he's pretty close to completion, because the trial version will be presented at Reitaisai Festival on March 21st. If you are interested, please try it. The cards in the trial version are a selection from the full version, so I guess it's not going to have all the shot types. And the full version is scheduled to be released in May. Well, see ya, is how it ends. So, yeah, in May, that's very soon. That's like 3 months away from being released, you know? The full version.
Yeah, it's not that long. I'm actually impressed he's already this far into completion.
Yeah, it's weird that he didn't announce it at all until like being almost done with it, you
We
know?
still don't even have 17.5 finished, and
Yeah.
that game has been in development for over a year now.
I don't get it. Why is it in development hell? I guess it must just be like them having trouble.
I think the
working 'cause of-
pandemic mixed in
yeah.
with the fact that it's something completely ambitious.
Yeah, mhm.
Like, you gotta remember, this is something Twilight Frontier really has never done before.
Okay, you say that, but it's a pretty simple game, and that's why I don't like it. It's not a very fun game, okay? I don't even care if 17.5 comes out or not, frankly. But
really, I think the whole thing is pandemic related at the end
I
of the
think
day.
so too. It's just like, because they are a team, it's not like Zune where he can work by himself, you know?
Yeah, it sucks, but we're stuck with this, so
But, well, there you
we
go.
don't really have a choice.
18 might come out before 17.5, which I don't think that's the first time that's happened. I'm pretty sure that like one of the fighting games or something has come out after the next full installment came late to the party, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So Touhou 18's coming soon. It looks pretty interesting. You know what? I'll link to the article in the description of this episode if people want to take a look at it if they don't know how to get to this website. I will do that.
Yes, please do.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, me and Charles will do a live stream when the demo comes out. We will stream it and give our thoughts and whatnot.
I think we'll probably do a dual live stream like we did for 17.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Where, like, I play it, you play it.
Mm-hmm.
Just that way we get, like, both perspectives or some crap like that.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, well, I think that's all for now.
Tacos.
You're listening to OAM.
Alright, gentlemen. It seems that Pokemon has sort of listened to us. We have finally been given the Gen 4 Sinnoh remake that we have been waiting for since, like, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out or something like that. I don't know.
Coveted ones. I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, me and you were part of the Sinnoh generation to an extent.
Dude,
maybe that's
Gen 4 was
what it
my
is.
first game.
Yeah, my first was Leaf Green, but the Sinnoh games were my second, right? So,
Yeah.
we were kind of part of that generation, like, generally speaking, I think. So maybe that's all there is to it, but I feel like this one was, like, more coveted than the other remakes. Like, this was the one people were really, really excited for, you know?
Yeah, because after Generation 8, literally everyone, including people who were defending, like, Sword and Shield, were starting to see that, yeah, Sword and Shield was pretty gay, at least beyond, like, the story. The story was alright. It was a decent story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, as a game, Sword and Shield is a freaking mess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's bits and things I like about it, you know? Some of the characters are pretty good. Some of the new Pokemon are cool, but then it's like...
When you get to the actual game, it's just an atrocity.
Yeah, there's just I don't know, it's hard to say. Like, the ending bit was amazing, the bit with the stadium battle, fighting all your rivals and stuff, just like we've always wanted to do. That was so cool, but it was short-lived, you know.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's all great story in Pokemon wise, but my god, man, Game Freak does not know how to do the 3DS port.
Yeah, and we're not here to talk about Sword and Shield. We're here to talk about the...
No.
So, okay, yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about it, but then they announced something else, which has actually got our attention even more, which is Pokémon Legends Arceus.
That I am very proud of.
Yeah, it looks so good.
I am really annoyed how nobody will shut up, how it's like, this is Breath of the Wild! This is Breath of the Wild! This is Breath of the Wild!
It's just because the visual style mildly resembles it, and it's open world, so automatically it's Breath of the Wild.
Any open world game on a Nintendo Switch is Breath of the Wild!
Yeah, it's X Breath of the Wild. Anyway... We didn't get to... So, this is the thing. It looked kind of barren. I'm assuming this is because it's very early development. hopefully it's not going to be quite as barren in the full version.
It sounds really promising,
But
but
the
the footage
features,
has
yeah.
me very concerned.
We're going to remain cautiously optimistic. Now, they said that this is like a new direction for the Pokemon series, and the way they presented it and everything made it look like this might be what they want to do for mainline games in the future, which is
Here's my
a very
theory.
cool prospect.
Here's my theory.
Mm.
This is a way to make Arceus worth $60 USD. So let me explain.
What?
Arceus will not be catchable in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
This game will be how you get Arceus.
Maybe.
No, this has to be it. Remember
I
how
don't
with
doubt that.
Let's Go you could only get Mew by buying the Pokeball Plus?
Yeah.
They want to do that again, but they want to do it with flair.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making this game as an excuse to have an elaborate way to get an Arceus.
a $60
Now, granted,
Arceus.
It's a really promising way to get Arceus.
Yeah, and that would
really
only
love it.
I would only call it a $60 Arceus if the game sucked and it was just you were getting it to get an
I'm
Arceus.
just really concerned that this is what Game Freak is developing and not an outside developer.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. This is the first ever, the remake of Diamond and Pearl is the first ever mainline game. Like, technically, even the remakes are still mainline Pokemon games, you know? So this will be the first mainline
after
game.
Sword and Shield, it freaking deserved it.
Yeah, to not be worked on by Game Freak. So Game Freak is working on Arceus while this other studio is making the remake. Now, I have to say, when Colin, I actually found out about this. I found out about this Pokemon announcement through Colin. He told me about it, and when he told me about it, like, the first thing he said was like, they ruined the art style with this like chibi thing, and I was like, oh god, is it really that bad? And I was expecting it to, it's not that bad, but it is like, it's a little bit out of place and a little bit disappointing that they didn't make it like fully 3D. It's still like top down, you know?
Here's my theory as to why it's like that.
Yeah.
It saves a lot of hardware supply for like the game. I worded that horribly because I cannot English, but
I think I know what you're talking about.
It is much easier to render a low poly model as opposed to render a high quality standard model like Sword and Shield was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to make the game very faithful. So this was an excuse to go make everyone a micro midget except when they battle.
Yeah.
However, what has me a little concerned about that word faithful, I feel like they're not going to fix anything that's wrong with Gen 4.
Well, automatically it's going to be fixed if they fix the speed of everything. That's the biggest problem that Gen 4
that's already
has.
fixed immediately. Like, have you not seen the footage? That's immediately fixed.
Yeah. So I don't even care.
I'm talking about the fact that it's Diamond and Pearl. I don't think any of the platinum elements will be integrated at all.
I definitely think it will. I'm like almost like 100% certain that Giratina is going to be a major part. That it's going to be like a somewhat remixed version of the Sinnoh story where like both of the Legends and Giratina are going to show up, you know, just like they did.
And I'm
with,
pessimistic where Giratina is going to show up in Turnback Cave after you complete the main story. Just be like, okay,
I don't think they're going to go back to that. I doubt that, okay? Maybe we'll have another bet. Maybe we'll bet more yin-yin on this, yeah?
Here's another thing. I'm thinking this is only going to have the first 493 Pokemon in it.
That I might not be surprised by.
That also disappoints me because we still have no national decks. But I'm willing, even though this is hypocritical of me, I am willing to play this one regardless of that, because I was one of those brainlets who had to live with a roster of only 493 Pokemon. So I am accepting of that.
Yeah.
But the next Gen 9 game, I swear to God, they better fix that, or I am going to throw something at my fan, like how to Basic did.
It's probably
and
going to
will be blood.
Decks. Because it's like I said, it was a gimmick. Removing the national decks was a gimmick. The reason they did it was so that they could reintroduce old Pokemon and be like, hey, look, the Pokemon are back. Get excited. You know, that was the point.
They were just incompetent at coding.
Maybe that had something to do with it too, but I
think
it
really
is
that. They just disguised it as a gimmick to make excuses to have patch updates.
Yeah.
'Cause you have to
Also,
remember, these games are on a timeline. They have to release. They can't be delayed.
yeah. Well, upon inspecting the art style, I think the only problem I really have with it, the chibis, is the hands. The hands are like weirdly large, and it bothers me, and it just doesn't look good. Have you noticed that? It doesn't look very good.
My entire playthrough, I'm just gonna wear like these drunk goggles, so I don't have to look at it.
Okay.
And then when I actually get to battling, I'll just take the drunk goggles off. Here's my concern. I feel like this may be a little bit of an immersion killer for the dramatic half of the game.
Yeah.
Like the parts where you're going against Team Galactic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when you're battling Cynthia.
Yeah.
If they're like doing these dramatic cutscenes with these chibi models, I'm just like, no, that's stupid.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there weren't really cutscenes in the original version. It was just text, because they were
This
sprites.
might be wishful thinking, but when you get to the part where you fight Cynthia,
Mm-hmm.
I want the game to have them do a cutscene with like the full body models.
Yeah.
Please,
Cool.
just actually make it look good for the best parts of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if the majority of the game has these midget giant hand people, but for the really crucial moments of the game's story, for the love of God, do full-scale models. It's
like
not
Cyrus's
hard.
speech.
You've proven in Gen 6 you can do that. So do it again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you remember X and Y? They had something similar going on.
Mm-hmm.
It worked fine. And for, like, the scenes where you fought against Team Flare and the scene against the champion, yeah, you use full model, detailed sprites.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, models, not sprites.
Yeah.
But in the majority of the game, you're using these midget people.
Uh-huh.
Do that again. It
Sure.
works. It's not terrible. Just do that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I'm really hyped for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of disappointed we still don't have the national dex problem fixed. But
It sucks.
I'm willing to bite the bullet for this one because I really do miss Gen 4. And
Yeah, man. I mean, it's my favorite region and my least favorite game, which is pretty damn ironic. It's like, I love the Sinnoh region, but that game is unbearable. I played through the whole thing, like, not too long ago. Like, I went back and played the game again. And you know what I did? I probably mentioned this to you, but I'm going to say it on the OAM anyway,
Yeah.
But when I played it, I got so tired of the countless battles over and over again, just grinding random trainers. I got so sick of it that I started skipping as much as possible. And by the time I made it to Cynthia, I was like 25 or 30 levels under the level of Cynthia's Pokemon, and I beat her by spamming revives.
Oh, sweet.
Literally her only Pokemon that posed me any challenge or threat was her Garchomp. It was outspeeding and one-shotting everything I had, so I just had to revive spam until I could beat it.
Now you can do it again, but modernized in 2021 graphics.
Yeah, so hopefully they make it less grindy, because in Platinum at least, I don't think it was quite this long in Diamond and Pearl, but in Platinum, the game ends at level 70. Fucking level 70! It goes
But
so
again,
long!
Remember the phrase "faithful."
Mm.
I
Faithful.
stuttered.
Yeah.
Faithful. Remember that, because I think everything is coming back, including the lack of EXP share.
I'm pretty sure that was just their excuse for the art style, was calling it faithful.
Dude, the Pokemon Center and the Pokemart are separated again.
Yeah. But that's just... I mean, it was like that in, wasn't it like that in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire?
No, they had them all mixed together. They
did have them
stuff.
combined. Oh, well.
Yeah, they took that game and they updated what was flawed. Basically.
Yeah, basically my point is that they're being lazy with it, and they're using faithful as an excuse for being lazy with the art style.
Yeah, but back to Legends Arceus. Let's go back there for the last 3 minutes of this segment.
Yeah.
I'm going in with no expectations. I'm not getting hyped for it. I want to see this succeed.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I really want it to be good because it looks really damn cool, but I don't know yet.
The gameplay footage I saw has me very concerned, but it's not final. They have more than a year to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see them succeed.
I've always wanted to see a game based on the ancient world with those old, like, mechanical contraption Pokeballs and stuff, you know? That's so cool. That's such a good idea.
This will be it.
Yeah.
But since we have so little to work off of, I can't really say much other than, okay, this sounds really cool, but it's developed by Game Freak, so I'm like, oh god, oh no, please, please don't mess it up. Please do not mess it up like you did Sword and Shield. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, praise Keck. I sound like a neckbeard now.
Praise Kick and Arceus.
I love Pokemon. I really disappointed with Sword and Shield. I want to see them succeed.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Tacos.
You didn't think we could get through episode 9 without mentioning Chirno, did you? You severely overestimate our class. So, since this cunt won't shut up about cars, I've decided to give him his own segment. Go on, Charles.
Oh wow, that was pretty harsh. Anyways, yes, so talking about my car fetish specifically. It's been a recurring theme on this show that whenever I get the opportunity, I will bring up automobiles, because I'm just that kind of guy. So, today, on the little Charles Car Talk podcast for 10 minutes, we're going to talk about two major things in car news. First off, Lexus has announced that they have decided that they're going to make the IS500F Sport, which is going to be a big middle finger to the electric car market that's coming out in the future.
Oh, really?
Now, I'll be honest, since it's being made by Toyota, aka Lexus, if you're an American plebeian, I'm really impressed with this, because it's probably going to be the last ever naturally aspirated V8 car we're ever going to see.
Yeah.
And that sucks. The fact that that's actually a selling point is just really depressing. Because all our livelihood, ever since like the 1970s, all those boomer degenerates just go off and say, well, Jimmy, the key to having a good vehicle is to have one that's a 4-door sedan and has a nice big V8.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can charge like almost $100,000 for something like that today, that's just kind of sad. But yeah. I want one. Because in 2035, it has been stated that all American car manufacturers will only have electric cars in their lineup. There is going to be a lithium shortage. And all phone companies and tech companies are going to suffer as a result.
I could definitely see that coming. Like, holy crap. There's no way they're going to be ready for that kind of demand.
I don't think anyone is. Heck, even the grid wasn't. Have you seen what happened with Texas about a couple weeks ago?
No, what happened?
They had a brownout and a blackout because of the winter storm. So, like, 23% of, like, Texas's electricity comes from wind energy.
Mm-hmm.
And all the windmills just stopped working because of the freeze over.
Yeah.
And as a result, like, over 20% of Texas lost power. And it was actually so bad, shipping for some of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards was delayed.
I like how that's how you're quantifying how bad it was. The shipping for my Yu-Gi-Oh cards was delayed.
That Yu-Gi-Oh cards would be delayed. Those usually take 9 days anyway, so my god.
Jesus.
So yeah, thank god. I like electric cars, but the electric cars made by America are just absolute garbage.
Yeah, they're...
And now let's go on to the funny car news, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So this just in, Tiger Woods got into yet another car accident.
Oh my god.
Apparently he was texting his mistress one day while he was driving down a little bit of a curve. All of a sudden, the car hits the side of the road and decides to pull a Subaru WRX rally stage rollover, where he rolled, I think it was 9 times, don't quote me on that.
Jesus Christ.
And he managed to successfully walk out alive. Granted, injured, but alive.
Yeah.
And God bless him for that, because I swear this is not the first time this has happened. This is like, I think the third time. And every time it's happened, it's been stated that he was texting a mistress.
Seriously? That's actually what it says?
It was actually so bad the first time his wife divorced him.
Oh my god.
And this time he's claiming that he has no memory of what happened.
Jeez,
So
man.
I'm just going on a whim and saying he was doing it for a third time in a row.
Jesus Christ. What the hell, man?
And if anything, this is payback for all the time he beat me at Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003. Because I've just about had it with the fact I can't beat him in that game. So now
God.
he can't do the thing I'm good at, which is driving. So
Oh, that's hilarious.
Take that, man. Yeah, so he was apparently going 60 miles an hour down this hill, which had a posted speed limit of about 45 miles an hour. I looked at the road he was on. And it was a road that is like a slight crest. You know those downhill roads that they're not steep, but they're steep enough to where your car can accelerate?
Yeah.
He was on one of those, and he was in the passing lane, which normally isn't a lane you're supposed to be in unless you're passing.
Yeah.
So if you're passing, I'm sure you're very attentive at the
Jesus
wheel, right?
Christ! So he's in the passing lane, going over the speed limit, and texting at the same time? Are you serious?
And he's probably also very horny, because who he's texting is a mistress.
Oh my god, this can't be. That's too ridiculous.
This is a recipe for chaos.
I'm just imagining like that scene from SpongeBob where he's like driving through the town, just crashing into everyone, going la 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 la. That's what this sounds like to me.
And the road he hit had like a little bit of a curb.
Mm-hmm.
And that curb was just enough because he was in an SUV, so he had a pretty high suspension to send his car literally flying over a ravine, and it rolled.
Oh my god.
He is lucky to be alive.
Hey, he's going over that cliff. Bah!
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh my god.
That is so horrible. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so I was watching simulations of like a rollover crash. Like they do with ragdolls.
Yep.
And Inside Edition, these annoying people were just like, and this is what happens if you get in a rollover without a seatbelt. Tiger Woods was wearing his seatbelt. And then the car just rolls over very slowly, and it's like, wee, I'm rolling, yeah. And all the like rag dolls are just like flying around like they're Gary's Mod, and one of them falls out the window. As you can see here, one of the children has fallen out of the window. That could be a fatal injury.
Inside Edition is super annoying.
Oh, they're stupid. They're like, they're the most obnoxious reporters I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
They're like vultures when it comes to like news of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
They just have the dramatic music where it's like, this just
seriously, just like exaggerating everything.
A bank robbery has been taking place inside a Vietnamese gas station. As you can see here, the witnesses are peeing their pants.
Sounds like them, yeah.
That's where I had to get some of the information, because the news articles didn't really do the road any justice, because if you go on Google Maps and get the coordinates, you can't really estimate the feeling of how it feels to drive on that road until you actually drive it. Mm-hmm. So they had reporters go and drive the road. The guy was like, I'm on the road right now where Tiger Woods crashed.
This is how it
if
feels
I were to
shoot
turn
5
slightly
gun.
more to the left, I would roll over and fucking die. Ugh, it sucks. As for if he's going to golf again, I hope so. Because he's like one of the greatest golfers to ever live, even if he is a sexual predator.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying that sarcastically if you didn't catch the sarcasm.
Yeah.
I miss Arnold Palmer, man. I miss my boy Arnie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was only relevant to me because car. And because talking about rollovers at work was something I had to do for like 3 days because people were just flabbergasted at the fact the car rolled over. Heck, I didn't even know it rolled over. I thought he crashed into a fire hydrant like he did in like 2007.
You just assume the past repeats itself.
It is. Have you not seen Pokemon?
Yeah, I guess so.
It is. History repeats itself. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And with the whole car thing, with going electric, I feel like that's gonna get shut out, kind of like the oil crisis, because the solution to the oil crisis back in the 70s was they were just gonna introduce throttled engines. They stopped doing that in like 2000 because they couldn't afford to do it. So I think we're gonna run out of money when the electric car market goes kaput, and then we're gonna reintroduce hydrogen and gas cars again.
Yeah.
Because that just happens to be cheaper. I'm telling you, man, all these corporations are just driven by money and nothing else.
Yep. That's the case.
Here's my last thing for the day.
Okay.
I got to speak with a General Motors engineer. And you know what he told me?
What?
He told me that it is indeed true that General Motors does enact planned obsolescence. It's no longer, like, theoretical. So he was one of the development people on the hydrogen engines.
Yeah.
Which is something I'm really fond of, and I think would revolutionize the car industry. He made a hydrogen engine that was virtually bulletproof and could not be destroyed by anything and would last for as much as 50 years without needing any major maintenance.
Yeah.
And GM turned him away because it was, quote, too reliable.
Yeah. That
because
is
they
not
need
surprising
people
in the slightest.
They need people to buy a new vehicle every 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you buy a GM car, it has a guaranteed shelf life of 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's stupid.
That is really
I think
stupid.
that is really freaking stupid.
Sure is.
They claim they're environmentalists and, like, trying to save the planet by making us not use gasoline engines.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they're one of the most wasteful companies ever by making us buy new cars every 10 years without recycling the old ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thanks, GM. You're beautiful environmentalists. I love you. Save the trees.
They're right
Save
up
the bears.
With
You
some
know
of the most hated companies on the planet like Nestle and EA.
Save the beavers. You know what? Fuck the beavers. I hate the beavers. The beavers can suck my pee-pee. I'm an environmentalist. I believe that using all of the world's lithium will fix everything and force everyone to go on the electric grid. Because we gotta save the planet, yo. Don't you know that all of our electricity comes from, like, coal and nuclear energy and, like, water? Maybe if we had thorium. Oh, what do you say? Thorium's too safe? No, screw that. We're not using thorium. We're just gonna use what we have. Yeah. Let's pacify everyone. Come on. This is democracy, people, not communism.
What
democracy.
are you doing? You gotta take them out to the woodshed. What is that? What are you doing?
I'm clapping because I'm, like, pretending to be a libtard. Because, you know, libtards hate clapping.
Right, I see.
So, I'm making them really agitated right now.
Wait, that's
they
backwards.
They do the jazz hands thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They
okay, whatever.
So instead of jazz hands, I'm just gonna clap. Because they hate clapping. And I'm gonna, like, preach what they want to hear. But they have to listen to it through clapping. If they can't do that, they are the biggest infantile people I've ever seen in my life. Okay.
Fucking clapping. Okay.
Thank you for this segment. I'm gonna shut up now, I promise. And from here on out, this is how it's gonna be. If I ever mention a car in any other live stream or whatever, I have to punch myself in the schlong.
Okay.
And
schlong.
This is the only place where I can do it from now on. And yeah, kudos.
Tacos. All right, well, if you want to send us in an email, you can do so, theorientalelites@gmail.com. We are, of course, accepting anything you say. If you send it to us, we will read it on one of the episodes. Like, guaranteed we will read it, no matter what it says. All right? Okay, cool. Send us in random crap for us to read. Maybe. See you on the next episode.